Greetings everybody and welcome to Madrid Ball. I hope you all are feeling good and I hope you all are feeling fantastic Madridistas because Real Madrid absolutely blew away Mallorca at the Bernabeu. It wasn't even a contest, it was men against boys. Madrid totally demolished the opposition. They shred the opposition to pieces and it truly was an enjoyable night of football. Our team was tuned in for the entire 90 minutes. The hunger and the desire to get the goals was something that I really liked yesterday. All the attackers wanted to be on the score sheet. The attacking play and the finishing was of the highest quality yesterday, and you could clearly see there was a huge gulf between the two sides. Mallorca were of no match to Madrid, motivated by the Bernabeu crowd. All the players were looking to impress the audience, and most importantly, we got glimpses of the future of the Los Blancos. We do have some exciting young talent full of quality who will be carrying the responsibility of taking this team to glory in the years to come, and we can deduct the future of Real Madrid is surely going to be a bright one. So in this video, we will do the post-match analysis of Real Madrid versus Mallorca. We'll talk about the tactics and the standout performance of the game. So without further ado, let's get started. And having a look at the lineup, there was Courtois in goal. In the back four, there was Alaba, Militao, Miguel, and Nacho Fernandez. In the midfield, we had the young and dynamic trio of Valverde, Camavinga, and Asensio. And in attack, we had Benzema, Vinicius, and Rodrigo. And before doing the analysis, let's quickly do the shout-out. Mr. Mithun Martin was audacious enough to predict 6-1 in favor of Madrid. He was spot on with the scoreline, and I congratulate you for getting the prediction correct. Moving on, if we talk about the lineup, we were expecting a few rotations, and there were suggestions in the media that Ancelotti was looking to play Nacho in the right-back position. That is exactly what we saw. The versatility and dependability of Nacho makes him a very useful player on the side. But coming to the midfield, this was the department that we all had our eyes on. After a very long time, we had none of Cruz, Modric, or Casemiro in the lineup, and we were very excited to see how the midfield of Asensio, Camavinga, and Valverde would work out. We were keeping an eye on what kind of formation was it going to be. Was it going to be a double pivot of Valverde and Camavinga and Asensio up front in an attacking midfield role, or were they going to set up in a more traditional way of one pivot and two central midfielders on either side? And to be honest, we saw both the variants. Have a look at the picture. You can see Camavinga was playing the role of a defensive midfielder, similar to what Casemiro does for Real Madrid, and then we saw Asensio playing the right midfield role and Valverde playing left midfield. There were also times when Asensio and Valverde switched positions to try and mix things up, and obviously Asensio was the most advanced player. He was switching between the right midfield and the attacking midfield role, and what we can say was there was a lot of flexibility about the midfield. It's not like the players were stuck to their position, they were interchanging roles. Have a look at the picture here. We can see Camavinga was the furthest midfielder up front. He wasn't sitting back, but rather he was the one who was leading the press, and Valverde and Asensio were in a much more withdrawn role. So you can understand it wasn't just about playing out the instructions of the manager, but it was also about the players' improvisation, changing things in between the game, mixing things up in the middle, which totally changed the dynamics of the team. The Mallorca players were looking completely clueless at times, and talking about the man who was making his first start for Real Madrid, Eduardo Camavinga. With each passing day, I get more and more impressed with this youngster. He's just 18 years old, and the level of maturity that he's showing in his game is absolutely incredible. You can see over here, he was dropping in between the lines to create an extra passing option. Here you can see he was doing the defensive work near the touchline, cutting out a counter-attack. He was doing the ball distribution. He was getting his head up and scanning the best passing option. And it was good to see that he wasn't just passing the ball to the nearest Real Madrid player. That's a sign of confidence for me. And lastly, he also had a few tricks up his sleeve. We know he's very comfortable with the ball, and have a look at this. With such ease and comfort, he was able to counter the press of the opposition. It truly was an impressive showing in the first half. Even the Bernabeu crowd, they were very supportive of the youngster. Every time Camavinga touched the ball, you could hear the cheers of the crowd, and that performance just summed up what Camavinga can do as a player. He can play multiple roles, he can do a bit of everything. You ask him to go forward, you ask him to stay back, he'll do all of it with great ease, and what a fantastic start to life in Madrid this youngster is having. But coming to the other star performer of the night, Marci Asensio, there was a lot of news regarding Asensio being unsettled in the squad. Even Ancelotti had to clarify things in the pre-match press conference, and when such controversies arise, when you're all over the media, naturally all the eyes were on Asensio. He was given the first start of the season by Ancelotti, and Asensio came up with the best response possible to impress the Madridistas, and most importantly Carlo Ancelotti. Before the game, we were wondering how he would fare in the role of a midfielder. The previous two times he played there, he was getting a feel of the position. He didn't do much right or wrong in those two games, but this time, this Asensio was a completely different player. He looked fully motivated to make a mark in the game from the get-go. He was showing the desire to get the ball and run at the opposition's defense. He was linking up with the attackers. He was knocking the ball around. He was looking much more comfortable in that role. And as we had discussed, that Asensio playing in a more central role would get him more involved in the game. Have a look at the third goal of the night. It was Alaba who passed the ball to Benzema from the halfway mark. Benzema finds the option of linking up with Asensio, who was looking in between the lines. But from here, it was all about Marci Asensio. It was about his touch and his pace, which took him past the defenders. He showed his acceleration, he showed his control, and in the end, he came up with the finish as well. It was much more direct from Asensio. We want to see him making those direct runs. We want to see him charge at the defense and give the defenders a hard time. And Asensio was totally up for the task yesterday. He wasn't just going to sit back and let the opportunity slip his fingers. He needed to show Ancelotti what he can provide to this Real Madrid side, and Ancelotti would be very happy with that performance. And building on his game, have a look at the third goal. After getting the first two, he was beaming with confidence. He was playing with such assurance, and that left-footed strike to get the hat-trick again showed us what Asensio is capable of. He was taking on the defenders. He takes a shot from distance. It was beyond the reach of the keeper. He looked helpless to stop that from going in. The power was perfect. The precision was perfect. It was a perfect hat-trick. We just got flashes of the old Asensio there. It was a perfect night for the former Mallorca man. He looked like a man on a mission. And as Ancelotti pulled the curtains on his night, the Bernabeu crowd showed their appreciation by giving him a standing ovation as he came off the pitch. So we can say Ancelotti's experiment of playing Asensio in the midfield totally paid off yesterday. Asensio as well was in dire need of such performance. It looked like he was running low on confidence without much game time, and you know the best way to get confidence back is to get some goals and make the critics remember why Real Madrid brought him in the first place. Now all that is required to be done is to be consistent from here. We want him to continue to show the good moments on a consistent basis, and will Ancelotti turn around the career of Asensio just like he has done for many other players in the past? We shall find out in the upcoming months. And now if we speak about the game, this was another game from Ancelotti which again showed the attacking potential of the side. Up until now we have enjoyed attacking and fluid football that Ancelotti has to offer, and yesterday Real Madrid were on top of the game. The football was glorious at times it was mind-blowing. The youngsters Vinicius, Rodrigo, they were enjoying themselves on the pitch. Both were tormenting defenders on either flanks. If you remember the goal of Benzema which was chalked off, it was all about the run of Rodrigo which created the chance there. He puts the pedal on the accelerator, he uses his pace to go past his man. It was a fabulous run all the way from the halfway line, and it would have gone down as a brilliant assist had the goal stood over there. Even Vinicius was playing at a very good level. He could have got goals and he would have absolutely loved to get on the score sheet, but it was a night which he'll remember for the assist that he provided. It was his cutting pass which paved the way for the first goal of Asensio. He was the one who provided the pass to Rodrigo which created all the panic and subsequently led to the goal, and he finished the night providing an assist to Isco, who himself had a very nice cameo. He was doing nutmegs, he showed some good movement on the ball, and last but not the least, Karim Benzema is just in red hot form at the moment. It's just been phenomenal this season. He's looking sharp, he's giving goals, he's providing assists. We can't really say much about the quality of this man, but what we can say though is that he is one of the all-time greats of Real Madrid, and right now we can only appreciate the greatness of Karim Benzema. So overall, it was a nice victory, and yes, it was only Mallorca at the end of the night who for some reason looked to have raised the white flag in the first half itself. But over here, you know we do the analysis on a game-by-game basis. If we talk a bit about the Mallorca players, I was expecting Takefusa Kubo to be a bit more involved in the game, but he did have a quiet game apart from very good moments, and you could say that he didn't really get the supply from the midfielders, but surely he could have done better there, and Kang and Lee, he was the shining star for Mallorca. The Mallorca fans will be surely happy to see his performance, and let's see if we'll hear more from this youngster this campaign, because he surely looks to have potential. So those are my thoughts from the game, and let's conclude this video by hearing the thoughts of Carlo Ancelotti. Undoubtedly, he was very pleased with the performance, and giving his thoughts on the game, he said, "As I've said on many occasions, we've got a squad with great blend of experience and youth. The quality of the young players is very high, and they've shown that today, but we can't forget that experience plays such a key role in football. I was impressed by the players on the field because it showed that they were ready. Asensio was ready, Isco and Jovic were too. This is a very good sign for the squad." He further shared his views on the position and the performance of Asensio, and naturally he was very pleased with the change. He said, "He can play very well in this position between the lines. It's a position in which he can hurt a lot because he has the quality for that. He hits very well, combines with the attackers. I think that's his position." And lastly, Ancelotti spoke about the quality that Real Madrid have in the midfield. He said, "The future of Real Madrid will be secure with players like Valverde, Camavinga, Blanco and so on. And the same goes for the present comparison with Modric, Kroos and Casemiro, the midfield is very strong in all aspects. So that is all I have here. Do let me know, what did you think about the performance of the team overall, and which player impressed you the most? Let me know in the comments below. I'll see you soon. Till then, take care. Glory to Madrid. And as always, a la Madrid.